Let's do the news.
Bobby's Big
Stories.
This guy had to get rescued. He's a surfer in Northern California, and I don't know, I guess he surfing too far. It's one of those kite surfboards where the wind can blow you. And he ended up on this remote stretch of beach, couldn't get a hold of anybody, and so he wrote help with rocks. Somebody's flying over and saw help.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's castaway stuff right there.
I know.
Yeah. I wonder how long until you write help, because maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it might as well just do it right away.
I want to do it sometimes when my phone just doesn't work at my house. Like there are dead sections in my yard. I just want to write help and have somebody stop. His rescue plea, made from Davenport Beach, about 25 miles southwest of San Jose, was spotted by a passenger in a passing private helicopter who called 911. Dramatic video posted Sunday shows the unnamed surfer being hoisted to safety by a helicopter. The helicopter was unable to land safely on the beach, maybe because it was so windy. I don't know.
Maybe
there's
there's
not
somewhere
enough room.
trees. I don't know.
Yeah, no real trees on the beach.
Oh,
Are there trees
Palm
on-
trees.
Not here.
oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. And also, it's small. Like, you'd really have to be looking down to see something. It's, I mean, it's not like boulders.
If you were like on a commercial flight, like a Southwest flight, and you saw that, could
I'd
you
laugh
go
and
to
be
the,
like, look at that guy. That's funny.
No.
That's a joke. I would think somebody
what
was
would you
playing.
do?
I would think somebody was playing.
like, could
Hit
you
your
hit
call
the
button?
flight attendant button and be like, I saw a help sign down there?
Well, yeah. And now I think based on this story, that's what we should do.
I'd be like, that's funny. Somebody's playing a prank. That's a good one.
What?
I would just, yeah, unless it was like a place where people couldn't get out of. Like, this is a remote beach, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but people just don't mess around
I'm
with
just
help.
flying over
Or
like
SOS.
some crops and someone's written help. I don't know what I would do. Joey Chestnut's out of the hot dog eating competition.
I thought he quit.
What do you mean?
Like he was retiring.
Yeah, didn't you say he retired?
I think he's retiring from like eating generally as a competitive eater, but this is like his main event. So I think he had plans to go back, but he's won it. And so he's like, all right, I'm going back. But the Impossible Foods is the vegan. They launched a vegan deal. And so that's what the beef is, haha. But that's what the deal is about, because he made a deal to represent that brand, and that brand is not doing those hot dogs, and those hot dogs, Nathan's, will not let him do the brand he represents.
And Kobayashi's the one that retired.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Not Chestnut.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Chestnut can't
Got
go
it.
because Nathan said, hey, you do endorsements for this other hot dog, you can't be in our contest. Well, guess what, Nathan? You just lost the star of the show.
That's true.
Yeah. Why don't you guys also eliminate Caitlin Clark while you're at it? Make that bad decision.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
That's what they should do, too. Say, you know what? We're not allowing Caitlin Clark to be here either. Dummies.
Is she going to be there?
No, but they probably kicked her out, too, like
Oh.
the rest of the world is. Dummies. Friend's social media post leads a guy to buy a lottery ticket and win $400,000. A North Carolina man said a friend's social media post led him to win $400,000. He said he was inspired to try because he saw a friend's post on social media, so he goes and he buys one ticket from Circle A Food Store. Scratch, $400,000.
That's nice.
That is from UPI. Billy Ray Cyrus files for divorce from his wife Fire Rose 7 months after getting married.
Huh.
I like Billy. I don't know Fire Rose, but I'm going to imagine if anybody that you marry with the name Fire in their name is probably going to be a little dicey for a bit.
What about the rose part?
I don't know. Rose sounds sweet. Like there are roses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are rose. Well, Golden Girls, one I think of.
No, the Titanic, Jack
Amber
and Rose.
Rose.
But how many women would have Fire in their name?
Not many.
Exactly, and that's what you have to look out for.
Red flag.
The ink is barely dry, they say at TMZ, on Billy Ray Cyrus's marriage to singer Fire Rose. They filed for divorce. 7 months. So that means some people, though, don't have to buy them a gift because they're probably waiting. It's 1 year.
The wedding
Oh,
gift.
And
smart.
they're like, oh, I was just going to send him a toaster. Guess it's not working out.
You call him Billy or Billy Ray, like when
Bill.
you talk to him?
Billy. I've never been told what to call him. I just say Billy.
It's interesting.
I don't
What did you
know.
just say?
2 syllables is tough. I don't like 2 syllable. Even if you have 2 syllables and you can fit them together, like, for example, Amy. That's 1 syllable anyway. But Eddie could be 2. But Eddie.
Amy
Yeah. No.
is 2.
Amy.
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 If you do Amy, yes. But if you do Amy, it's 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and we don't call you Amy.
We don't call you Amy.
I know, but I am. But I'm
We call
not.
you Amy.
Okay.
And Lunchbox is 1. Lunchbox. No, just kidding. That was long. That was long. Weight loss surgery is more effective than obesity drugs or diet changes. I don't know how I feel about this. But it says that these surgeries lead to more weight loss and it's longer lasting compared to things like Ozempic and Wegovy. Is that one like Ozempic? Wegovy? And behavioral changes such as diet and exercise. So basically, go cut it off.
So yeah, is this brought to us by the Surgery Council?
You know, it doesn't say, it says New York Post, but it says 2 popular surgical procedures produced a weight loss around 30% 1 year after the operation. Patients maintained another 25% weight loss up to 10 years after the surgery, but people that get on Ozempic or Wegovy tend to fall back once they stop taking it. The surgery, man, Kanye's mom died like that. And I'm sure she might have been having a lot of stuff done at once, but she died on the table.
Didn't she go to another
Yeah,
country?
she went to another country.
Yeah.
Okay, she still died from that.
Is this the one where they staple your stomach, make it smaller?
Well, this could be anything. I mean,
That's what my aunt got.
but there's no specific surgery they're mentioning. They're just saying that as compared to those drugs. Yeah, Donda West. She died at 58. She died in Los Angeles.
I thought it was somewhere else. Are you sure?
November 10th, 2007, Cedars-Sinai Marina Del Rey Hospital Emergency Room, Los Angeles, California.
Cedars-Sinai.
That's America.
That's where all the celebrities go. Whose mom died overseas?
She died from coronary artery disease and multiple post-operation factors from cosmetic surgery. I don't know the specifics to that, if she had some factors, underlying factors, but yeah, no, she was in California.
And
Okay.
Amy, that's a broad question.
What, who
Whose
died
mom
overseas?
died overseas?
No,
Great question.
But Lunchbox
Hey,
even,
research that. Get our research team on
Lunchbox knew what
that.
I was talking about, right? Like
I'm
somebody's
100%. You're 100%.
like a rapper singer's mom went overseas for some sort of surgery and died.
Okay, thanks for that. That was like last night. My wife and I were talking about music, and she was like, "Who is that solo artist? It's from." Because I'm almost 12 years older than my wife. She's like, "He's from your time. He's really famous." And you know, if he walked in the room, she goes, "I wouldn't even know who he was." And I said, "But you're not really telling me anything." She goes, "You know, that solo artist plays guitar, and if he walked in the room, I wouldn't know who he is
From your time.
from my time." And I'm going, Jason Mraz?
Ooh, that's got to be him.
And she goes, "No, but I thought about that." She goes, "But he's more famous than that."
Jack
Jack Johnson.
Not Jack Johnson, not as famous as Jason Mraz.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I did figure it out, or she figured it out, but
It's not John Mayer. She knows John Mayer.
yeah, she knows John Mayer. It's somebody's name, but his name is in the band.
Zach Brown
Dave.
Band.
Dave Matthews.
Dave Matthews Band.
And then she goes, "Show me what he looks like." And I did. She goes, "Huh, not what I expected." And then I played her a bunch
Oh, there's so
bunch
much.
of songs, and she was like, "Oh, this is totally your vibe." I was like, "Yeah." Satellite. I love Dave Matthews.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome.
Yeah, I think she just missed him, and she was like, "He's so famous, and I wouldn't know him." But we were talking about fractioned fame, and somebody can be so famous to somebody, and not famous at all to somebody 6 feet away from them, because now there are so many platforms for people to exist. There's no real universal fame.
Oh, yeah.
Almost nobody has universal fame now, unless they got it before all of these elements of fame, all of these platforms started to exist.
Like somebody sang the national anthem at the NBA Finals, and they were like, "She's so famous." And I don't know who that was.
Dave Matthews?
Nope, nope, nope.
Who was it?
Some girl. Don't know who it was, but I mean, everyone knew who she was there.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Well, that's the news.
Those were Bobby's Big
Stories.
We premiered this morning. It's new Jelly Roll. I Am Not Okay. Bobby Bone Show. I want to talk about Quicksand in a second because I didn't think Quicksand was real. I thought Quicksand was only in cartoons. This woman got trapped in quicksand. And also, how can't you just get out? It's slow. And I was always slow in the cartoons or in the TV shows. Like, it's very slow. That's coming up. Help me with beer, meaning I don't drink, never had a beer.
You want one?
Sometimes I feel like I should have one. But 180, that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So Pabst Blue Ribbon has a 180 pack.
What?
What? So it's 180 years old, and they have a 180 pack. What's up with that?
Like, okay, I get it. You're having a party.
Yeah.
You can buy 180 beers.
Okay, so will a party drink 180 beers?
Yes.
Depends what kind of party.
Dude, like some of the parties I went to in college, easily.
Yeah.
Fine. Those are big ones. What about like an adult, like a barbecue? Like, how many beers do you have a day if it's like a Saturday and it's bar? I just, the 180 or.
Maybe 50.
You have
What?
50?
No, not me. I'm saying the whole barbecue.
Got it.
thought you
Okay,
were
yeah, I
talking
guess
about
it
him.
depends on how many people.
No,
But
he was saying like at a barbecue. I thought you meant like how many beers would be drank at the barbecue.
But like just to say a person, I would say six to 7 beers. And I say
That's about
7.
right.
I say 7 because when you get the 6-pack, you're like, gosh, I wish I had one more.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
So if it was a 5-pack, would it be I wish I had one more, but it was 6? It's just
Maybe.
that idea?
Yeah.
So 180 is a lot.
it's a
Yeah.
lot.
yes, but
Hard to fit in your car?
No.
Like the pack.
So it'd be 15 cases. So like there's 12 in a case. And so
Got
if you
it.
look at it that way, that equals 180. And I'm thinking back to like if we were ever throwing a big party, going to buy, 10 to
College,
15
though, you-
cases, doesn't seem that crazy.
But in college, you can go hard.
Me and my buddy Todd, we would start Fridays with a 30-pack.
I'm talking about, guys, I'm not talking about being 22.
What do you mean? What do you
You're
mean?
not talking about you and Todd?
I'm talking about adults, like how much beer. Raymundo, 180. How long would it take you to put that away?
A month?
Okay.
I mean, that's like 6 racks you're putting in the back of your truck. You
Yeah.
you and your buddy would finish maybe 1.5. That's a ton of beer.
That's from Food Beast. So it'd take you a month if you were to buy it for your house to put this away.
Yeah, I had leftovers from CMA Fest. There's 2 racks in my fridge. It'll take me easily 2 to 3 months to finish that.
Also,
and that's 6.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. You good?
No, cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap, but for a moment, it was like cool with the hipsters. Like that was their brand of beer.
Is it good for cheap, though? Meaning there's cheap that tastes bad. It doesn't taste good, but for the cheap, it's pretty good.
I mean, cheap is cheap.
Cheap is cheap, man. Like when you go to the store, it starts with Pabst Blue Ribbon, and then it gets more expensive as you go down the aisle.
But I think there's an emotional connection to cheap beer. I feel like it's like nostalgic. Like you're either like love Miller Lite or you love Coors Light or and it's like some of the cheaper stuff. It's just like what you grew up with. Like my dad I liked Miller Lite better. I don't even know why, but that's just but my dad always, Coors Light, that's the only thing he would choose if it was
My dad was a Miller
beer.
guy.
Yeah. But I think it's just what they were accustomed to drinking when they were
Or
younger.
were there nicer beers when they were younger?
Yeah.
Or was that the nice beer?
I-
Because like I ate bologna sandwiches for most of my life. It's novel and hey, how about that history? I ain't going back to eating bologna sandwiches right now.
Yeah, but once they graduated and they could maybe buy a nicer beer, my
They
dad
still-
wasn't.
Yeah,
you know what I
still
mean?
buy the old
Like
cheap beer.
Dude, I'll never forget. Me and my brother went to the store and we were looking for beer and we only had like $6. And we were like, we got to get Pabst Blue Ribbon. And there was a mailman who was watching us struggle with like, oh, this cheap beer, that cheap beer. And he goes, guys, don't. Just pick whatever you want. I'll buy it for you.
Wow, what a mailman.
I'll never forget that. He did not want us to have the cheap beer. He wants to have a good beer.
Yeah, I don't know beer culture, so I appreciate you guys' patience. with
Yeah,
me.
that's
No
like my
problem,
buddy
man.
when I worked at the grocery store. I told him how he could steal the beer. Like there's a side door he could go out.
So you worked at the grocery store and told your buddy how to steal beer from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so my buddy Josh went in and he stole the beer. And we meet up at the party, and he had Milwaukee's Best. I'm
Oh,
like, dude,
the beast.
Like
we
if
called
you're
it
gonna
the
steal
beast.
beer, don't steal that.
I'm like, why did you steal that? And he goes, it was cheap. Huh. I'm like, you idiot. It was free. And he's like, oh, yeah, good point. He goes, all I saw was it was one of the cheaper beers, and that's what I grabbed. He grabbed like 3 cases and
He's
ran out
just
the
used
store.
to looking for that.
And I'm like, you idiot.
What about like a craft beer? Are those good tasting, or are they just like cool because they're local?
Now they're good tasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do taste good.
They put a lot of work into those.
A woman swallowed by quicksand, which is crazy. I thought quicksand was slow. Didn't you guys? And first of all, I didn't think it was real.
It's called Quick.
Exactly. It's
Where
in
do
the-
you find it?
So they were in Maine too, not in.
Oh.
like,
What?
Oh, I thought it was like in Australia.
And by swallow, do you mean she died?
Jamie Accord was walking along the water's edge at Popham Beach State Park, located in Portland, Maine metro area. She dropped like a rock. She sunk to her hips
Oh,
in
no.
a split second. Isn't that like a big pothole? And that's-
Yeah.
Oh no.
She said, I can't get out. But within seconds, he came to her rescue, pulling her from the. In the day, you couldn't pull people out of it.
No,
They were trapped. Like Gilligan's Island, if they
no.
got caught in quicksand,
They're done.
Good luck. The couple watched as the hole filled back up with sand.
What on earth?
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Oh.
What? How does that work?
And how do you-
And what's down there?
And what's the sign? You got to put a sign around it. I don't think they make quicksand signs.
No,
Yeah.
just sink.
Just like watch
or
your
it's
step.
like the sink holes that happen sometimes. There's no warning.
Those sinkholes, that just like fall and you just go to the bottom.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's from the Daily Mail. Yeah, I had no idea that quicksand was actually a thing, especially here in America. Usually it's like Guatemala. Shout out Guatemala. Never been there. Just sounds like a place they have quicksand. The Kevin Costner movie. It's always, again, when they do these 8 and 9 minute standing ovations, which he got at the end of this An American Saga, they stood up and clapped for him for 8 minutes. I don't do anything for 8 minutes. And I don't know if that's because it was so good or if it was just good and you get that long if it's good. But he has this movie coming out called An American Saga Chapter 1. And he's going to be on our show next week, which is
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
Amazing.
Okay. Ooh.
Have you seen him? He looks good gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah,
like
we've
gray-
seen him. Yeah.
like not Yellowstone. He wasn't gray in Yellowstone. He was like salt and pepper. But he's like gray now. It looks good. Like it, because he is, I guess, an older guy.
Yeah, but very handsome.
Okay.
Okay,
We felt
Amy.
you.
Yeah.
And we can figure out how to say his name finally.
Kevin Costner.
It's not
Kevin Costner.
It's not Costner.
Dude, what if he comes on and says it's Costner, guys? The T silent.
You just said it right for the
No,
first
I said
time ever.
Costner. Costner.
No, you
Cost-
said the T.
You said it.
No, I didn't.
It's not Cosner.
I've never said the
It's
T.
Costner.
Costner.
Okay. Anyways, he's got this movie coming out. People are going crazy for. He's paid for it all himself too.
Wow.
Which is wild. Tickets for Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1 are on sale now at horizonamericansaga.com. Horizonamericansaga.com. He'll be on the show. Don't miss it. Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1. Experience the journey that made America in theaters June 28th. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
Did Mike D get an early screening of that?
You seen it?
No.
If we go to the movies, you got to do a standing ovation at the end, right?
For 8 minutes, even if he's not there.
What about when
Just
when he comes on the show?
8 minutes.
Do we give
standing
him a
ovation?
standing ovation?
We say hi and just clap 8 minutes. That's funny. Look at this guy. And he's celebrating because he spent his own money on it. My comedy special, I paid for myself. Nobody gave me an 8 minute standing ovation.
Okay.
I haven't even,
Hey.
well, we haven't shown
job,
anybody
good
yet.
job, good
Hold
job.
on, wait.
Hey.
Hey, thank you. Why are you stopping? That was like 8 seconds, guys. Come on. Yeah, so he'll be on. That's pretty cool. You guys can call us if you want. 877-77-BOBBY. That's our phone number. We'd love to hear from you guys. Questions, comments. 877-77-BOBBY. I do have coming up a couple of things. We had a photo shoot yesterday, which we haven't had one in years. A controversial photo shoot. I've got questions. I've got big questions. I noticed something and I was like, why is this happening? I don't feel good about it. But because I did not know the answer to it, I did not raise a hand. Mostly because I was trying to get in and get out.
Interesting.
But I want to bring it up with the group. We'll get to that. We'll take your calls. We're back in a second. We had a photo shoot yesterday. We haven't had a staff photo shoot in like 5 years. And so basically it's for like sales. They come in, they take all these pictures of us, and then they go, for the next 5 years, do you want to buy this show? Here's a picture of them. Or they'll use it for press stuff. Here's a picture of them. So everybody's there. We had like 2 outfits we had to wear. They say, okay, to me, it's like going to be like 90 minutes. I got there early. You know, by the way, why were you guys so weird about makeup? Morgan, who are the weird guys about makeup?
Scuba and Raymundo. They
Guys,
refuse.
it's not. It doesn't mean that you're a woman.
It's not that. It's not that at all. I've done a photo shoot with makeup, and it looks like I have makeup on. And I'm like, I don't want to look like I have makeup on.
Well, then that was bad makeup or bad photography.
Well, I'm not looking to take that chance again.
It's more of of the glare. Like they don't want it shining off your head.
That's what it looked like, though.
I
have a
overheard
glare.
Ray just say to the person, "No, it's good. I got a spray tan. I don't need any."
Oh boy.
So these 2 guys are like,
That
I don't
was
want
funny.
makeup. Fine. Okay. All good. But we were taking these pictures, and I go and I do some alone, and then Amy and I do some together, and we do some with the 4 of us, like the 4 main mics, me, Amy, Lunchbox Eddie. And then the whole group gets in, which is everybody you know from the show. They're also important, but maybe just not on the air as much. We're all sitting around a couch. And then Scuba goes, okay, we're going to cut me and Abby. And then we take a picture without Scuba and Abby. And I was like, why did you guys leave for that picture? Do you feel like you're the 2 that could be fired first
Not
and most
fired.
vulnerable?
I mean, these pictures get used for like 10 years.
So you don't have faith that...
I'm just thinking about when we look at, and this is just business, when we look at who is the most important, we have the solo with you, we have you and Amy, then we have the core 4. And this is, again, just business, and I come into this understanding that. It doesn't bother me. And I think we should all look at that. And then the next layer then is everyone in that glass room, which is you, Amy, Lunchbox, Eddie, Morgan, Mike, and Ray. The ones that have been around for the longest, the OGs. So that's why I cut myself and Abby out of it.
And I would get it if you were cutting yourself. Like, hey, you cut somebody else that wasn't even... Like, it's the main group. I thought it was weird he cut Abby.
Can I say why I think what he was doing is he was using Abby as a smoke screen. He has his like path charted out, and so he knows what he's going to be doing, but he used Abby as take us both out of the picture so it's not obvious that he is saying he has an exit plan.
You think Scuba's leaving?
No, I disagree with that because I know Scuba's plan because him and I have had long talks at my house about how he wants to do other things. So there's no smoke screen. Like I know exactly and what he's already been doing. Like Scuba's been killing it in other ways just on the show. So no, that's not it because I already know Scuba's plan. I'm helping him actually achieve it if I can. But I thought him cutting Abby was weird.
Which that would include him leaving.
Possibly.
But either way, Scuba's talking about roles that are important. He's executive producer, and I would say that's a vital role.
But I would say he knows what his goals are.
Okay.
But cutting Abby was weird. That's my point.
Maybe-
I could Photoshop her back in.
Could he, whatever his goals are, does he plan on taking Abby with him?
Great. That would be funny. What a twist that would be.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
He's
weird.
a poacher.
Really?
Hey,
Okay.
Abby, how did you feel about that? Because I would like to say, for the record, I know we have some with you, but I felt like it was weird that he made you get out of the picture.
I mean, I thought it was odd. I was like, is there something I don't know?
Exactly.
Like, am I about to be
Yes.
canned or something? This is my last.
Oh, no.
Well,
I didn't know what it was.
Abby upstairs was even shocked she was invited to the photo shoot, she said.
I was. I didn't know if I would
Abby.
be or not.
Well, some people didn't get invited.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
if they're new, and they, Abby, I don't think you should have been cut from any picture, for the record. You are
Thanks.
very important to me and this show, and I don't want you to feel like you're vulnerable in any way,
Okay.
because you are not.
Okay, thank you.
Scuba,
Yeah, she's not. It's just business. Like
what business?
Like just thinking about it's just too much to get into, but I have to think about what makes the most sense for what we're gonna put out there for the public, and I had those dialed down to what groups we should take photos of. And then they also did singles, so if they need to, let's say Lunchbox leaves, they can remove him and do a shot without Lunchbox.
That'd be cool.
Abby, did you take singles?
She did, yeah. She took a whole round of them.
Boom, let's go. Was the film in the camera, or were they just like... Scuba's like,
I don't
hey,
know.
you can take them, but no need to use film on her, because you never know what's going to happen. Abby, I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke because
I
you're
know.
very important. I promise you.
That was great.
You are very important to me, and that's what matters around here. You're important to everybody, but really, you add so much to this job, and you make my life easier working here.
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be taken
Yeah,
that way.
thank you.
I didn't mean to cut her to be like, you're out, you suck. It was just business.
Scuba, get out of the picture, Abby.
Just business.
So
Like, gosh, if I'm ever having a day and someone just tells me it's business, I just.
Well, that's how you get fired.
You just took your last picture with Morgan in it, and 2 weeks later she's gone, and then you're stuck with a picture of Morgan in it. So I'm just thinking about
a year or so, but I hear you. But that happens.
But I'm just thinking about
But
I
get it.
and what makes sense.
So Bones, did you
No
have
feelings.
somewhere to be? Like, because you kind of just left him right in the middle of the shoot.
I mean, that wasn't.
I can't.
I mean, that wasn't.
I've never seen anything like that.
Like, it was the photographer's like,
They were like following you out to the car, dude.
and then we're all there, and Bobby just stands up and he's like, "Okay, I'm done." And then you walk.
Yeah, there wasn't like a pause. Like they were done taking pictures. Bobby was just like, "I'm done taking pictures."
I guess
I don't think it was that dramatic. It's funny to hear it portrayed like that. What had happened was, Scuba said, "Can you take pictures on this day?" I said, "I absolutely can." He said, "It'll be 90 minutes." I said, "Great. I have exactly 90 minutes." Now, what I believe in my life is if I have something set at, when we start at noon?
Yeah.
If we 11, we start at 11. So 11 to 12:30 is what I had. And I had a call with our CFO at 12:30, but it didn't matter who I had the call with. I'm not going to be late to that because somebody else has extended their time. So I said to everybody, I have 90 minutes. At 10 minutes, I said 10-minute warning. At 5 minutes, I said I have 5 minutes left. Then I said, I have 1 minute.
No, you were checking your watch like the whole time. You're like, okay.
I'm
I
pretty
heard
sure they
under
have-
your breath, I think you said like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, and then at the time, I said, that'll be it for me. And I walked to my next meeting. But I told everybody, I did not want to disrespect the person that I had the meeting set with. Yeah. So I did that meeting, and then I got to therapy right after that, 30 minutes after the call. And then I went right to an interview with Cooper Allen right after that. So everything is on a schedule, and nobody should serve punishment because somebody early was holding me late. So I've got to keep people accountable. So yes, I might have walked off while they were taking pictures, but I did say 1 minute warning. Okay. Thank you. I walked off. I shook his hand, said, "Thank you very much. I really appreciate it." Went to my next thing.
Yeah.
It was not as dramatic as you're making it out to be.
I don't know. Later, I walked by Eddie and said something because, anyway, Eddie just walked by and I thought Eddie like knew you had to go, or I probably heard more of your comments under your breath, so I expected that it was coming. But then Eddie's like, "God, I've never seen anything like that."
I was like, that was baller.
Eddie was at the house. No, it wasn't baller. It wasn't baller.
That's the coolest thing I've ever
mean, it
seen.
was-
No, that was not the reason I
We
did
were all
it.
sitting on the couch, and Bobby just gets up and left us on the couch.
I
It was
guarantee
like-
you there's got to be a shot where we're all sitting on the couch posed like perfectly, and then Bobby's just standing up walking off, and we're like, what?
But to your point, I bet there's a lot of pictures of you looking at your watch and being like, 10 minutes.
No, I wanted to let
5
them know
minutes.
what time we had left.
Yeah, there's for sure pics of you looking at your
They
watch.
said 90 minutes. I gave them I got to early.
Yeah.
I gave them as good of a 90 minutes as I can give anybody.
I know,
Dude,
but
you're such a pro at that too. Like all the variations of poses that you give them is pretty amazing.
I hate doing it, and I have to do it all the time for different stuff. So I just like, okay, let's go.
like like we just smile,
Smile,
like
babe.
one smile. No, not you. You give them mad.
I-
You give them pensive.
I
You
don't
give
like
them.
doing it. I do urinating. I do all of them. But hopefully they weren't offended. I did leave.
no.
Nah, no one was offended.
No, I think
It was
you
baller.
you
said
had
why.
set
It's
that
not baller.
expectation. I
not
guess
baller.
I was like, dang, I wish we would have gotten everything done. I just feel like we had more to do, and it's just a bummer.
Dude, it was so cool that I thought when I was doing my picture, I'm like, should I give him like 30 seconds?
No, because
You should have.
like a week before I said I have this 90. No.
Just
no.
to kind of get the feeling of it.
Well,
Let him know how it feels.
Hey,
And then he took the catering to go, sat in his car and ate it, dude. I was like,
there was mayonnaise on it. I ended up not eating it. I hate mayonnaise.
Oh, yeah.
I had no lunch. And they promised there would be lunch. And I had no lunch.
There
You should have got the
was
Italian
lunch,
one. There was
but-
one with no mayonnaise. That's the one I had to eat. I had to pick the tomatoes off. Ugh.
So a little
Bunch of
lesson from
divas.
something I learned the hard way, but that I do now. If you just tell people respectfully what you want, you meet their needs, you give them your expectations, you can say no and yes to lots of things. For example, they were like, "Bobby, Amy, do back to back." Nope. Okay, we'll do the next one. They were telling us to do poses, and I was like, no, we don't want to do that one. They were like, turn the chair backward and sit in it. Nope. It wasn't mean. I just know that I'm not going to like that picture, so let's not waste anybody's time. Direct communication saves everybody time. And it's professional. Turn the chair around, do that. Nope.
It's business.
That's interesting. They told Lunchbox to jump, and like he can't jump.
I saw
But
the
he
pictures of him
jumped.
jumping. He was trying hard.
No, I didn't
Yeah.
understand what they were saying. They were like trying to do like toe taps. I'm like, who jumps like
They
that?
told him at one point, like, can you do the Jordan logo? And they're like, no.
No,
All
I
right,
said,
next
can I do
one.
the Jordan logo? And they said, no, tap your heels together. I'm like, who jumps to tap their heels together?
They asked me to jump. I said,
No.
nope.
I was very confused by that one. I was like, I don't really
Because
understand.
I don't want that picture existing anywhere when it looks stupid, even if we don't use it.
I was glad you said no to the back-to-back.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I probably done like, okay.
They said Amy Bobby back to back. I said nope. We're not doing a buddy cop picture.
A what?
A buddy cop. That's what it looks like. Turner and Hoops, back or whatever it is.
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah, that's what it would. That'd be good. But yeah, it was good. We'll have pictures. Abby, I'm sorry. I don't feel. It's fine. I'm good. It was not baller.
It was baller.
Although Eddie did say, Eddie was at the house yesterday and he goes, if they make a movie about you when you die or something or whatever, I'm going to be sure to put that scene in there.
I mean, like, guys, you got to do the photo shoot scene. Like, that's got to be part of the movie.
It does represent a lot about how you manage your time. Like in a nutshell, it sums up like how you operate.
I have to.
Right.
We all have to. We can set our boundaries and live within them. And I said, 1 minute.
And you meant it.
And then, yeah. Okay. Thank you.